Well, still not sure about this factor of how this is working, but I'm hoping it is. Gosh. I'm Ros Boundy here, and I'm here on behalf of my Boomer Press business. The previous couple of episodes that I've put forward for this session, the book Nook and Start Writing, Keep Writing, has been using a particular tool that I've got now, like cards. It's certainly something that I've got as a practice through my psychic medium work that I do, is using cards. Now I'm just trying to figure out where my deck is, as in on the screen. I had a little hiccup initially. There it is. It's showing there. Good. Now what I'm going to do is get us to sort of actually do another of those little exercises using these particular cards, because we don't always have time to really, sometimes it's just that we've got snippets of time rather than really, a full hour or two to get writing, to really get in the flow of it. So what I do keep is a little notebook myself. It's just blank paper, and what I've started doing over time, I have A5, not A5, what are they called? The B5. So it's the half an A4 sheet. So I do collect some scrap papers at times from various places that I've worked over time. So I've got the resources to just grab this and grab the pen and start to write little notes at times. And we just take those moments where we can put down what we think and feel and our thoughts around what, because my emphasis is going to be throughout most of this series is going to be around the memoir style of writing as I'm learning it through, this last Monday having a budding writers group that is an in real life group that I go to, and it's great. I really enjoy the connection with people and bringing together some of it's that sharing and bringing together some of the ideas that the teacher has. It's a wonderful lady called Jude, locally at, sorry, I've got everything just happening not quite right this morning, even though in our cards today the good luck card was there, the clover card was there. So I've got my pen and paper in hand, you see, and what I'm needing to do is put them down, because I do want to get the cards here up front first. And good afternoon, Michelle. Lovely to see you here. Did that show up? I've just got to see if that showed. Because, there it is. So I've still got some of these things that are not showing up on my screen. I don't know why it didn't set up. Okay, there it is. Hold on. I've got stuff that's really in the way. Let me just grab this. I'm determined to get things right here, so I'm just going to have to pull it up. There we go. Bring the comment a little further on the screen. That's better. Look, sometimes you do need to just go with the flow and move through as things happen, and that's what's happened here. Okay, I'm just going to drop that for the moment. I think I can. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Where is it? It did show up. There it is. Yes, there it is. And what I need to do, I'm going to have to do it while I'm on the go, because I need this shaped differently. So, oh gosh, where did it go? Where did it go? Hold on a sec. I don't mind doing things as I'm on the run with this. So let's shift it. This is what the Ecamm program can do while you're actually on the stream live. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to shift over to what my camera is and actually change where I'm zoomed in at, because I can zoom in and do it this way. Have a little bit better shape to it. And there we go. Yes, Michelle is in the house. There we go. What a great program. It is. It's a wonderful program that I thoroughly enjoy using, Ecamm, but there's certainly some changes that have come up that I'm not quite familiar with. You know, like any program, it has updates, upgrades, all sorts of things like that. So anyway, there we go. Now I've got the cards there. So what I'd actually like to do is, if you have your pen and paper ready to go, like I do, and I haven't actually got my other camera. I was going to do so much this today, but I ended up actually really needing to have a nap. No, I don't want it that way. I didn't really want to put in handwriting, you watching me handwrite. So here we are with our cards again. It comes out of the box like this. So I'll just put that up there. This is just the one of the tools that I'm using. It's not the be all and end all, and it holds various grades of cards. If you missed it the other day, what it has is a pile, and I'm just going to split them this way because we will use the first 3 cards from each of these little piles. Now what I've got behind is what I've already used from the previous sessions that we have, the couple of episodes that I've had. So we're doing it like this. I'm just trying to line it up. And you know how hard it is to do that on a cloth background as we're... Oh, goodness. Okie doke. So there we have it. That should be probably around that way, really. So in line with doing Memoir, what I've got here, it is a toolbox that brings forward questions to ask for your life story. Now, we've got that there. The first one that we're going to ask ourselves in line of what we have in things that we've gone through ourselves in our own life. So what did your mother do before having children? And what do we actually, and I'm just going to write that down, because it's hard to write and talk at the same time. I'm just noticing that. What did your mother do before having children? Right. So there's the first question. What would you answer? Because it's something that it's quite possible that a lot of children don't really know what their mother did before having family, before a lot of things. And so for the early life, now this would be my mum's early life. Is that part of my early life? Well, it is part of my early life, because the influence that we have from our mums does start, obviously, from when our memories start. And what did she do at that point in time? I wouldn't have had a clue in my younger years, in the early life. But of course, as I've grown up and been able to question her through what we've experienced as adults, and you start to share a bit more of what your parents' life involvement has been before they were our parents. I would hope that yours have. So for me, it was definitely that my mum was involved through the era of, it would have been the 50s, 40s, 50s, so that she would have been the usual thing of primary school, and then some kids at that point in time did go through to high school. Not everyone did. And from that, because my mum was born in the 30s, 1930 actually, her experience was primary school. And then when she was of the age that she could go back home to help look after the farm, or basically at that point in time, it was more the eldest daughter, which she was, went back to look after the men in the farm, on the farm, the people that were workers, because there certainly would have been some farm help, but it was those who were working on the farm. The mother and the eldest daughter were the ones mostly responsible by default for looking after the house, the home, the cooking, and the men. So that's what I remember from Mum's experience in those early years. So she didn't really get to do anything else before being a parent herself, really. It was looking after others. It's always been that beautiful, loving activity of looking after others, and with respect of cooking beautifully. And I do remember Mum being a fantastic cake decorator. I used to steal the little icing flowers and stuff she used to do, prepare those over a day or two, put them in Tupperware containers for the next time someone needed a cake baked that needed decorating. Mum would be one of the women in the community who'd be asked to do cake decorating. And back then it wasn't necessarily for money, it was because you supported your community and each other. So that's what I remember Mum doing. Before that is what she did. So it was up to primary school, and then it was on the farm helping the family. Well, it is a family business, I suppose, but it wasn't seen quite as that back then. It was a different era. Now what we're looking at as midlife is, did you have a part-time job? I'll write that one down. Did you have a part-time... Oh, my handwriting is terrible as I'm trying to do this in a hurry and on my lap. Part-time job. I'm going to have to do this a little differently, I think. When you were young. And did you enjoy it? You enjoy it. There we go. And Michelle, great. Oh, hi, Senley. Lovely to see you here. Oh, now that's white on white. See, here's another one I'm going to have to fix. One of the things I can do with this is actually change the colour as I'm going, I think. Oh, whoopsie. Something went funny there. Now what have I done? Hold on a sec. Just hold on. I've got to get back my other camera. That's what you get with a magic mouse and a mad finger on it. Okay, so I just flipped off it, went to the wrong screen, and that's fine. Now I've got to find... Senley, you had your comment there, and I was trying to change the colour. Didn't quite work, but that's all right. There's certain things that you can do that bring it into a different... I was going to try and edit it. It won't. And Michelle, yes, Christmas cakes too, I bet. Yes, Mum did decorate Christmas cakes, and with all the beautiful trimmings. And we also had it with the sixpence, the silver sixpences that would be hidden in the Christmas pudding too. It was only ever in the Christmas pudding, not the cake. And a hi from Susie. I'm definitely going to have to change that colour of the text. It doesn't quite fit in very well with what I've got showing there. But anyway, there's always going to be room for improvement with any of these, isn't it? Now, the next one, what was it? Did you have a part-time job when you were young, and did you enjoy it? Think through the things that you yourself have actually experienced as you've moved through your own life too, because remember the memoir, it can be a mix, and what we're doing in putting this forward now, it is just piecing together bits and pieces for now. If you can get a really good flow from any of these questions and spend the time to, or invest the time to actually really get a great story flow of that piece, keep writing. You don't have to use these types of tools. But this is just to get that happening started, really moving forward with different pieces as a draft. We're not writing the story fully yet. We're putting things together so that we can create a draft and further that fullness of a story, that we can then piece together what might be included in a book if we so choose. We don't have to put everything in. It's just put it down, write it down before it's forgotten in some form, in a way that you can find it again, because I find I lose things when I'm on doing computer and filing. It happens. So my part-time job, the first one I had, it was only a temporary one whilst I was still at school. I was an excellent typist at school. I was top of the class, all the brag rights that I could have had. And it recommended me, the school principal or whoever had the role for doing that, recommended me to the local D-High factory. Was a factory at the other end of the school that did compressed feed pellets that were exported all over the place, all over the world really, loosened pellet type things. And they needed a temporary office girl to type letters, take phone calls, that sort of thing. So I was recommended. So it was a 2-week holiday, school holiday employment. So that was the first time I'd ever had one. It was such a quiet day one day, and it wasn't a very busy place and space. And I happened to have my book there that was The Exorcist. I read it in that one day, in between only the couple of letters I needed to type and the phone calls I needed to redirect. I was able to read a book in one day. That's my memory of my first part-time job. It was a hoot. I had no previous experience of working part-time. I came off a farm. I didn't have that type of town and people interaction. The most I spoke to people was, in the dairy when we were doing the cows, and more so with the dog as we were going, way back to the dog to get the cows in, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing to remember, your first part-time job. Now, the last one we've got, the later life and reflection, what we've got here for today's is, do you have a message you'd like to share with your family? And this is the part that you'd like to share with your family. I really have to speak it out as I'm writing, like you'd like to share. I know I can write this down later, but it brings forward, from writing pen to paper, it actually does help cement what your thought processes are as you are writing and putting that mark on the page like that. I'm going to remember what I'm wanting to think and write through a little more solidly by the fact that I've actually put it down on paper. So do put that there. Do use this practice as something to just get you started. Doesn't have to be where someone else understands it. It's what you need to be able to remember, from your notes, how you note coded and stuff, because sometimes I use shortcuts. Not that I did shorthand, but sometimes I do make my own marks that are little shorthands. So, yes, you remember the pudding with coins as well. I love traditions, absolutely, isn't it, Michelle? And Susie's saying her grandma always put a tuppence in the Christmas puddings. Yeah, it was probably not the sixpence, but the tuppence. We did have the threepenny bits. I have no idea where they are now. Someone in the family obviously probably does have them because they were part of that tradition. And what is a tuppence? A tuppence is a 3-pence piece in the old terms of way back, Senley. In the British pound, shilling, pence system that Australia had come into, that's what was used up until 1966, when it then moved to decimal currency here in Australia. So I'm pretty sure that tuppence, or was tuppence 2 pence? Threepence might have been the 3 pence. So tuppence is the 2 pence, threepence was the 3 pence, and 5 pence probably went to the 5 cents. It is a long time ago. I was only 6 at the time, or 6 or 7 when we moved to decimal currency, so it's a memory for me, long memory ago. So, as far as what we can then do with our later life and reflection now, do you have a message you'd like to share with your family? That's more along the line that was, yeah, I thought so. So, I think tuppence was the 2 pence, Susie's saying, yeah. I think the same, I'm pretty sure it probably is. Yes, it is, and it's a small coin too, so you had to be careful when you were eating your pudding. It was small enough to swallow, wasn't it? So small. But a funny thing, they didn't, when you were actually eating them, I don't think they really had any type of flavour. I can remember when it went into the sixpence that you'd hide in there, there tended to be a bit of a tangy metal flavour type of thing near the coin when it was something that you'd find and eating it around it. It's a long time ago, isn't it? Don't do it anymore, of course, because the coins we've got now are not safe for that. So, where was I up to? Oh, that's right. So, with Memoir, I can remember speaking with you in one of the previous sessions that Memoir is not just writing your memories down. It's a little more along what can be a themed type of a story, a book, a purpose, so that what you are bringing forward for your family is a message. So it's quite a perfect question. Do you have a message you'd like to share with your family? Is it something that you want to bring forward, part of your life story that has the purpose? For me, I have been wondering about whether to do a memoir, and you can do more than one as part of themes around your life. But the memoir around bringing to life a business from the base of the barest minimum of what we started with, as far as my husband and I at the time. When we were married, he was still it was young. He was still just finishing his mechanic apprenticeship, and we actually lived out at the Coorong where there was no phone. There was only one car, so I was there through the day by myself with a baby, and if anything went wrong, you were pretty much stuck. But it did grow to changing from that location to a little farm that we had ourselves, because we had started putting into motion a business, and it was hammer milling. If you can imagine, if you know what a hammer mill is, it was hammer milling sheep manure into pulverized fertilizer manure, bagging it into big bags, 50 kilo size. They didn't always weigh that, but they were filled. We used a plastic bag sealer. It was a hot strip of thing that sealed it, held it for long enough so that the plastic was joined together, melted together. Then we hoiked it onto a trailer, took it up to Adelaide, and we hawked it to the Target, to Munn's Lawns, to Peter Bennett's Organic for garden shop, and places and spaces that they were eager to buy fresh, well matured, but freshly packaged manures. It grew to being cow manure included in that, and going around my parents' farm picking up dry cow pats and hammer milling that. It then went into potting mixes and all of that. There's the growth of a business that changed from that into earth moving, into rock crushing, and it's no longer around because he was killed tragically and the business dissolved. All various parts of a story, but it's a theme of endurance, of persisting in business growth. That's one way of creating a memoir, a story that's got a theme. Another is, I've had a bit of a cancer journey. That could be another story that is a memoir. There's so many different aspects of our lives that are worthy of telling a story. So Oh, I just saw your comment there, Susie. I'm a bit late putting that one up. So, and as kids, we thought we were rich until we found out they weren't currency anymore. That's the threepence and all the rest. Yes, exactly. So true. Life does change, doesn't it? Where we have those situations of, oh, now I've got to try and find how I'm getting rid of that. Let me see, like that. There we go. So life does change, doesn't it? We do have our life situations that really can make a story that's actually quite funny. You know, the time where probably it is Uncle Fred had near choked on his tuppence, threepence, whatever one it was, because he was so eager to enjoy the Christmas pudding with the brandy custard. It's probably the only time that I'd ever had a brandy flavoured custard was Christmas time on the pudding, because our family was teetotal. That in itself is probably a story, because I don't, you know, the way that our upbringings have changed, that our children raise the grandchildren and all the rest, and what our societal norms are now too. It really does bring it to being almost a history into live action through writing our memoirs. So that's what I'm doing with these sessions. I don't want it to be about a sales pitch or anything, because I really enjoy just sharing what some of these tips are. But you can find the services that I'm involved in with Michelle. Oh, now I've got to try and point. It's up there. Boomerpress.online is where you'll find them, as far as the various things that I can help you with our team. And it is myself, it's Michelle Hill, and it's Steph. Oh God, now I can't remember her surname. Sorry, Steph. Anyway, have a look at that page, the website. And if you've got any questions, do approach me on the Boomer Press page. That's a Facebook page if you like going to the social media platforms. And I do have it's the website there. I do have a Discord as well for those of you who are in Discord. I do check that out quite frequently as well. So there you go. Thank you, Michelle. Steph Cazarina. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So there's many ways that we can connect. There's many ways to be able to help you move through what are the bits and pieces of publishing. Even if you don't want to publish publicly, there's certainly ways to be helped along, and it can be with the ideas like I'm sharing with you of the tips and tricks. It can be the editing process, whether it's developmental line editing, proofreading, that type of thing, and any other way. The marketing, if you do want to put it to public, and the actual publishing. Okay, being able to offer it on sale, where, Amazon or wherever, there are wider avenues to do that. That's all the time we have today, so thank you for being here, and I'll look forward to, now I've got Sunday evenings are going to be the 7:30 my time, 7 o'clock Queensland time. Mondays and Thursdays are this same time, which was the 5 o'clock for Queensland, 5:30 for South Australia, and I still haven't checked out West Australia. But thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.